Dr. L. Randall Wray, W-R-A-Y, professor of economics, University of Missouri in Kansas City, senior scholar at the Levy Economics Institute, one of the founders of modern money theory, and the author of the book Modern Money Theory, the blog neweconomicperspectives.org. First of all, do I have all that right, sir?
Yes, you do.
Just always good to reality check that. So, one of the tenets of modern money theory is, and you started the program with this, the idea that running a government the way that you would run a household is stupid, that a sovereign nation can do things households can't. I even find the household analogy, the way it's used, to be stupid, because you've got people running around going, oh my God, our debt is equal to our annual income. And I'm thinking, most people who have bought a house, have a debt in that house, have a mortgage that's equal to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times their annual income, and they don't think that that's weird. They think that that's an investment in the future. So why should we even be concerned with our national debt until it gets to be where, a mortgage would become problematic? But you say even that is, or I'm guessing you would say even that is a misdone analogy.
Yeah, I would say that looking at the government debt ratio is a complete waste of time. It doesn't provide you any useful information at all. Investments in the future, that's the way you want to look at this. Is our government investing enough in our nation's future? And I don't think there's anyone in the United States that would say yes. So we need to be investing more. So I think that the debt ratio just gives you the wrong answer. Look at the reality. We have bridges falling down. That's the reality.
Right. And in South Korea, every home has a T1 line coming into it because the government built a national broadband fiber optic infrastructure, or the government helped fund it. Same thing in Europe, high-speed rail. China's building out their infrastructure, and businesses are going, hey, this is cool. High-speed rail, high-speed internet, inexpensive telephone service. I think we'll build a factory here, and not to mention cheap labor. But And instead, we're right in the middle now. Republicans are getting ready to introduce into the House legislation that would undo the sequester for military spending, which seems to me, reality test this for me, building things that you drop on other people and they vanish does not seem as productive as, there's bombs and weaponry.
Right.
It does not seem as productive a use of money as building things that are the substrate on which business happens, and schools, hospitals, roads, bridges, highways, broadband systems, power systems, etc. It seems like you can't even make a dollar for dollar comparison.
Yes, and of course, if we had this attitude on the eve of World War II and said, well, oh, you know what, we can't afford the war. Can you imagine that? So in the case where we actually needed the defense spending, we just did it. We did it. We ran budget deficits at 25% of GDP. No problem at all. And we came out of the war a much stronger nation with much more rapid economic growth, rapidly rising living standards. And all of that was, supposedly with this huge debt burden coming out of World War II, where the debt to GDP ratio was 100%. Now, I don't want to make a big deal about the debt ratio because I think it is completely misleading. You're focusing on the wrong thing. But it was 100% then, it's 60% now, and right now we're hysterical about the size of it. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what should we be hysterical about? If we're to be concerned about our economy, what part of our economy should we be looking at and saying, oops?
Well, number one is unemployment. That's clear. We have 25 million people who would like a full-time job and can't get it. Some of those are part-time employed, but that could be as little as 1 hour a week. Some of them are officially unemployed, and some of them have just given up all hope of ever getting a job. This is devastating. The impact from this will last not until the recovery, not until a robust economy, but for a generation. We're in danger of losing a generation. People who are long-term unemployed become unemployable, at least in the view of our private sector employers. It has a devastating impact on the economy.
Yeah, and this in particular seems to be hitting people in their 50s now. People that cohort seems to be the most unre-employable, 50s and early 60s. Although you also have the Gen Xers, the people in their 30s and 40s, and then the millennials in their 20s, the 20-somethings who can't find a job.
Well, new college graduates.
Yeah, new college graduates. So yes. What's the solution? Government becoming the employer of last resort?
Well, of course, I support that. So the employer of last resort is a permanent program. So we should not look at that as, a solution for high unemployment that results when you're in a deep recession. So we should have an employer of last resort or job guarantee program in place always. It acts as a buffer stock. It's good for the private sector. It's good for the people who fall between the cracks and so on. In addition to that, so that's a permanent program. In addition, it's obvious we need the federal government to spend more. We need a payroll tax holiday. We should reinstitute that, but it should be a 100% holiday, not a partial holiday.
Wow. So why do you think that this deficit hysteria is going on?
I think it is largely politically driven by those who absolutely hate what conservatives call entitlements and the rest of us call a social safety net. We take care of our own. They hate that stuff.
Right. And well, you're right. And therefore the cost of that stuff they're saying is too much. But even when even when Bill Clinton had budget surpluses and George Bush in his first inaugural address said that he was going to pay off all of the national debt that could be paid off, he still wanted to privatize Social Security.
Well, again, Wall Street doesn't like the competition. Medicare and Social Security, the most important government programs the United States has ever had, they hate the competition.
Yeah, and the competition is in the private sector. We're talking with Dr. L. Randall Wray. I want to get back to how you respond to people who say, but wait a minute, if the government becomes the spender of last resort and we run up a bigger budget deficit, that's going to cause inflation. I want to hear your response to that right after the news here at the bottom of the hour. We'll be back.